All right, so right now we're going to show you, well, I'm going to show you how to use construction and center lines and how to use them pretty much, utilize them. So construction geometry is used to assist and create sketch entities in the drawing. They're ignored when you're using the drawing as well when you're working in the file. So it's just for more as a reference. So some call the construction lines and others call them center lines, but basically they're the same thing. So how do we get to it? Right over here, center line option here, or if I click line and I choose a plane, you'll see I have the construction line. They're the same thing, guys, in the end of the day. So they're just there for reference or for mirror lines, which we'll see in the next point. So let's go start and make a quick rectangle. Instead of a line, I'll use the rectangle tool. And again, as using the rectangle, I could use also add construction lines as well. So let's go make our our rectangle from the center. Let's go do here and click here. If we see that it didn't go through or we didn't draw the lines, you could always just click on the line here and just write for construction. So as you notice, it converted it to a construction line. I could have also done 1, 2, 3 and clicked as well and changed them to for construction. So it kind of changes the line types if you forgot to do it later on. You could take any line and convert it to a construction line or a center line. So now let's go and make this cube. Let's add our dimensions quickly. So we can use, for example, if we were placing holes, for example, and we needed them to be 50 and 50 apart, what we can do is we have our reference line here, and all we could do now is just make our circles based off that. So see, we made our construction lines. Now we could just make our circle there, another one here. And again, see, I'm just choosing random sizes. Why? Because I don't have to worry too much. If I put the dimension for one of them, and I put this dimension here as 20 or 15, right? You'll notice that if I go use the relations that we learned in the previous one, add a relation, and I choose 1, 2, 3, 4, and I do equals, right away it automatically adjusts the dimensions for those pieces. So if I were to go change these to say 20, you'll notice that everything is automatically going to change. I don't have to go waste my time and put here 20, here 20, here 20. They know we'll add a note. You'll add a note eventually after in the drawing sheet where you'll say diameter 20 times 4, so they know that all 4 circles are the same. So this is where you would use the construction line. So now, for example, I have the location of my 4 holes. I'm jumping ahead a bit, but just to show you, if I wanted to extrude those holes, those circles, see, extrude, it's only going to take now the shapes that I just made. It's not taking the box underneath. What does that mean? It means now watch. If I were to convert 1, 2, 3, 4 back to a circle, back to not a circle, sorry, back to a line, and I uncheck for construction. Okay, just do I guess one at a time at this point. For construction, take it off. For construction, take off. And for construction, take off. Now you notice it becomes a solid, which means what? If I were to go do extrude, which we'll show you again after, you see it takes everything off. Meanwhile, all I needed it for was for the reference. So in this case here, this is why construction or center lines, we'll see more center lines later on, are useful. Because if I didn't want this and I just wanted the location of these circles to be in that dimension, then by converting this one back to construction lines, I was able just to take those cylinders. Now you may say, but Rob, can't we leave it like this and still just take the circles? Yes, technically you could just grab 1, 2, 3, 4, then do extrude. And now we only have, I think we only have, did I not take I could do 1, to see. It's a lot more waste of time, in my opinion, than if I would have just made those references. So I could have done this, saved it, and then I still have the same end result, but it just took so much more time when if I just had converted 1, 2, 3, 4 to construction, and I do the extrude again, you see I was able to do that very simple. All right, so that's why I want to show you guys for the construction center lines and how to use them. We will be coming back to these center lines for the mirror lines and so forth when we're mirroring in a few moments. So now let me show you some more commands to add in to your knowledge of SolidWorks. Go to the front, edit the sketch here. Let's go erase some of these things. Actually, I'm going to keep the circles and I'm just going to get rid of this. One thing that I forgot to mention to you guys, which I find a very useful option in SolidWorks, is if you move your mouse all the way to the top, you see my mouse, where it says search command, that's where mine says. Yours is probably going to say search SolidWorks help. What I do, and I recommend you do the same, is instead of using the help at the moment, just switch it to commands. Why am I doing that for? Because now whatever command you are looking for, if you're in a rush, you can search it and it's going to find it. If I type in mirror, like so, now it's showing me mirror and dynamic mirror, which we're going to show you in a few moments, and also mirror. If I click the little show me button, it's going to take control of your mouse. Oops, I stopped it. Let me do it again. There we go. See, it's actually pointing. If I click here, it's actually telling me where it is. So let me show you again. You see the arrow pointing that the mirror is over here. If I want a dynamic mirror, which I'll show you as well, and I click, oops, and I click the little eyeball, you'll see it actually opens up. I don't know why it's opened up the help menu. I think it's because I'm moving my mouse too fast. Let's do it again. Mirror dynamic. And I just push it. I think I could just push on it. Let's see. My mouse is stuck. That activates it. What it's supposed to do is supposed to go tools. Then it's supposed to go sketch tools. And then it's going to highlight that it's right over here, your item as well. All right, guys. So this is what I want to show you guys is the little command guide right over here by just clicking the arrow and just going instead of SolidWorks help to commands. And it actually is quite useful, quite helpful when you're working in SolidWorks. So let's go now jump in to how to use the mirror, offset, the patterns, and the trims. So let's start off by using the mirror command. So let's say I have a circle here and I want to mirror it around the axis, which is right here. I could change this as well to a construction line if I'm not, oops, wrong one, to a construction line. I could have also, by the way, which I forgot to show you earlier today, is if I wanted this line to go infinite, I could do infinite and it's going to keep going as well. So you could choose the different options, what you want for that line. So now we have the circle. Let's go use the mirror entities. We're going to click on what you want to mirror. So this is my mirroring guy. And where do I want to mirror it about? If I want to copy or uncopy, I click here. And now I have my mirror on the other side. If I don't want to copy, I could just press that and I press check mark. And now it just hopped to the other side. Let's do it again. Mirror, choose what we want, choose the mirror line. This time I want a copy of it. Press OK. And now we have it on both sides. Now you may ask, Rob, does it work with just a simple line? Well, let's go check. Click here, take off construction. Now it's back to a simple line. Let's go do mirror again. Choose our object we want to mirror, the line we want to mirror about. And if you notice, it works just as well. So you can do it either way and it works fine. Okay, so that was just the simple mirror. I'm going to show you a mirror that once I show you guys will be like, wow, this is amazing, is dynamic mirroring. So that one there, it won't be here. It's like I showed you, tools, sketch tools under dynamic mirror. If you ever forget where it is, you just go here, dynamic mirror, which is right over here. I can press enter on that if I want to see where it is. Let's see if it works now. Click here. There we go. Now it's working. It's doing itself. It's not me touching this. And you see, now it's me, I'm cheating. And it's right over there. But let's do a dynamic mirror. So now for this to work, look what it says here. It says, please select a sketch line or linear model edge to mirror about. So for example, I'm going to use the line that's already here. I click that line. To know that it's working, you will see two lines over here and two lines at the bottom. Now watch what happens when I have dynamic mirroring on. If I have a line here, and I go from anywhere on this side of the sheet or anywhere on this side, whichever way I start, whatever I do on one side will automatically be copied to the other side. Now, Rob, if I cross over, does it still work? Yes. It will just keep copying each other. Even if I end the line command and I press escape and I go to a circle and I draw a circle here, it's still going to keep drawing every single shape that I am doing on both sides. If I press escape, 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 and I go back and I still draw a line, is it going to work? Yes. As long as this guy is showing, it will always work. So what you can do is you can just press go back, then go back to your sketch, and you notice the arrow's gone, and you're able to use it. Now, if you're tired of seeing if my sketch is closed or not, and you don't want to see the shaded each time, you do have the option to uncheck it. So it's closed, but it's showing that it's not. If it bugs you to see the shaded in the drawing. The only difference is this is an open sketch. These are closed sketches. So when we're extruding afterwards, this would be just a thin profile, and this would be an actual solid. So that's what I want to show you with the dynamic mirror and the mirror entity. Let me just erase this lovely screen I made. The next thing I want to show you is the offset tool, which is found right over here. So like in other softwares, let's just make a rectangle, like so. So the offset here is actually pretty cool because you have different options. If I click the offset, you see I have add dimensions, reverse, select chain, bidirectional, cap ends, and so forth. Now watch. If I want to go 10 millimeters, I click on where I want to go on this object here. And right now it's going to keep a distance of 10 if I want to, right there. If I want to go inward, I go reverse, and now it's going 10 inside. If I want to go both directions 10, now I could go both directions, right? If, for example, I wanted to go smaller, let's go put it to 5. Whatever I want, I can change it inside here. Now, Rob, what happens if I don't want to do every single one? Then all you do is you take off select chain. And now it's only going to select one at a time as you're doing this. See? And as you connect, it's going to connect for us. All right, if I don't want to do it, I can press accept, but that's the simple one when you're doing the offset. Offset's pretty done. Now that you got to try out everything I'm showing you now with the mirror dynamic, the offset, the pattern which I'm showing you right now, the trim and extend, I'm going to want you guys to try all these before moving on to the next one. And I will give you something by email or to show you what to have you test out these skills. So now we're going to go and do the patterns. So if I have a circle, I like my circles. There you go. And let's go use the pattern, which is right over here under sketch. We see linear sketch pattern, or we have circular pattern. So what we'll do first is we'll do the linear sketch pattern. So this one here is using it based off the X and Y. So right away, right off the bat, because I had it selected, it's telling me how many do you want on the X axis. If I say I want 3, it's going to give me 3 circles. And it's giving me the distance of 10. If I want to make it bigger and I say 20, now they're going to be touching each other. If I go 25, I'll have that gap in between. I could also have dimensions showing the spacing in between. So there's a space from here to here is 25 with 4 instances. If I want to go up, then all I do is I choose the Y direction and I'll say 2. And again, the same thing. All I did is I changed the numbers. Now I'm going to go put my distance of the same number, 25, and I have all my spacing that is needed. So I could add more things to my pattern. I could change the angles. See if I do 60, what happens? Now it's at a 60 angle. So you could play with your linear pattern. So let's accept it. There you go. Now let's go use the next one, which is the circular pattern. So let's go add a circle here. Okay, and let's add one circle on top, just for fun. Now I want a circle to be, so let's say I was doing this for construction, and I want it to be one circle here, one here, one here, for a total of 3 circles. What I will do is I'm going to use the relation called circular sketch pattern. I'm going to choose my center of rotation as the big circle, or the origin right here. My object I'm going to select is this guy here. Oops, the point, my center point should be this. What just happened there? Let's go check again. Oh, it's because I did this. Let's go delete this. Let's go choose this point. Let's go choose 4. I think I maybe, let's go choose this guy now. Oh, why is it going there? Give me 1 second. So again, let me just show you. I'm just gonna get. I can leave this in the background on the side. I mean, let's go back to circular pattern. Let's go choose our sketch we want to do is this guy here. Now the arrow is being thrown down there. So what we can do is we could click the arrow and just snap it back to here. Oh, now it's not working. Let's see if I go back here. I say here. There we go. I click the arrow. It kept snapping to the origin there. But now I have my 4, but I said I wanted 3. So I type in 3, equally spaced items. If I had it different angles or whatnot, I could change all that here. I could even put it to 20, which is going to offset it. So maybe I should never have done that. Let's undo that and do it one more time. Circular pattern. Let's go choose this point here, this point here, this circle here. Now it worked. Let's go choose this pattern here to move around. There we go. Now it works. So click on the circle, not the point at this point. And let's go type this back to 3. And if I want the dimension of the radius, I could do my dimension as well, or even dimension the spaces. So it's giving me everything I need for that location, just with a click of a button. Now that we've done the patterns, let's go use the trim option. So a good example would be if I wanted to trim the lines that are going within the circle. So we go use the trim. So there's power trim corners of multiple different trim options you guys can try. If I'm just doing the power trim and I want to go inside here, I could go and I could erase anything that's touching that circle. If I did the corner, I don't think we have corners here, but let's see if what it does from here and here. No, the corner one won't work. I find the best one to do, in my opinion, is just quickly do the power one because it kind of goes through wherever you're clicking. If we had a line, let's just see now, like this, and this one, so another line going through, like so. Then I guess we can use the trim option, and we can use the corner option. If I go from this corner to this one, we cleaned it up. Again, I could have done the same thing I just did using the power trim. Okay, just to show you that you can do everything with the same one. Then let's go to the next trim. Trim away inside. Why is it not working? Trim. Oh, it's more, I think I have to add another line here. So I think I needed one more line going like this. Let's see if it works now. Let's go trim. So now if I'm going from this corner to this corner, oops, as my boundaries, sorry about that, and I want to click these guys. This one here, I'm not too understand. It should be, if you see in the drawing, it should just take anything that you see, select two boundary faces. So if I choose this boundary and this boundary, right, and now I get rid of this, it doesn't seem to. Again, I could just use power trim and it would have done the same exact thing. Trim to closest and so forth. You could try those on your own as well. For the extend option, which now that we have this drawing like this, if I want to extend this line to here, from trim, I go to extend, just click the object where I want it to go. Not clicking, just hover over to be honest with you. And it's going to click the drawing where you want to go. So it's connecting to each other. So that was the trim, the extend, the pattern, the offset, the dynamic mirror, and the normal mirror. So I'm going to be giving you guys some more examples. Just make sure that you guys from today's first part of this class, I guess, you know how to make a plane to a sketch. You know how to link your sketches to the origin, how to sketch basic shapes like line, rectangle, circle, ellipse, and arcs. You know how to dim and define your sketches, dimension and define. You know what the difference between under defined, fully defined, and over defined are. You know how to apply the relations. You know how to add and delete them. You know what a construction line is and a center line and how to use them. And you know how to use the commands I just showed you, like the mirror, mirror dynamic, offset pattern, and trim as well. So if you're able to do those, you should be fine moving on to the next course, which would be doing these in 3D drawings.